Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond, broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
Have you ever wondered about what happens in a martial arts studio? Well, you start right away by setting goals, building determination, gaining focus, building skills, all while becoming more fit, gaining confidence, and learning self-defense. Huitorn Academy is a school where attitude meets aptitude. So give us a call at 956-401-4868. We're back at you, Gloves Off, and we're continuing the process of a first-time home buyer. And last week we spoke with real estate agent Silvia Lucio and her broker, Ms. Latin, and we talked about how to go about buying a house. But there's a second step in there. And Ms. Lucio, can you explain this?
Yes, como les estuve explicando la vez anterior, es muy importante que tengan un agente de bienes raíces que los represente, pero también muy importante es saber para cuánto califican. ¿Y quién les puede decir para cuánto califican y cómo quedaría su pago mensual? Tienen que ir con un lender, un loan officer. Ahorita está con nosotros Wayo González, que les va a explicar a más profundidad cómo deben de trabajarlo con él y qué son los documentos que tienen que llevar para que les puedan ayudar a determinar para cuánto califican. Bueno.
Muy buenos días, gracias por la oportunidad de venir a platicar con ustedes, ¿verdad?
Gracias.
Gracias a usted.
Del procedimiento, ¿verdad? De cómo comprar una casa. Como decía Silvia, yo soy Wayo González, trabajo en Geo Mortgage Services, tengo más de 15 años ahí, de Loan Officer, ¿verdad? Nosotros nos dedicamos a ayudarles a preaprobarlos, a conseguirles el financiamiento, ¿verdad? Explicarles cuáles son los pasos de conseguir el financiamiento.
As they were both explaining, is Silvia was saying that yes, you have to have somebody that's going to represent you, but on the second step, you're going to have somebody that's going to loan you the money unless you have it, and that's so. Right now we have Wayo with Geo Mortgage, and he's explaining to us what is needed. So I'll ask him some questions like that. I've never bought a house before, and coming in, and I'm sent to Mr. Gonzalez, and I'm going to tell him, Mr. Gonzalez, how can you help us? What is it that I need, or what do I need to get a loan, or which way? What is the best possible way?
Well, step one is, we sit down, we take a loan application. We do check your credit, right? So we take an application, check your credit. We do require also some paperwork, some income documents mainly, such as 1 month of pay stubs, the last 2 years of your W-2s, 2 months of bank statements where you have the money that you're going to use to put as a down payment, a copy of your ID and your social security card. If you're self-employed, we need the actual tax returns as well. If you're a W-2 employee, we only need the W-2s. We take an application, check your credit, review all your paperwork, and then we can tell you how much you qualify for, what the max is, what your monthly payment would be on any kind of scenario, right? You don't have to buy the max you qualify for, obviously.
Absolutely.
But let's say we qualify you for $300,000 and you only want to buy a house for $220,000, you can absolutely do that. We can give you information on what interest rates are doing, what your monthly payment would look like, how much money you would need to put down on that transaction. We also tell you whether you qualify for some of the down payment assistance options that are out there. There's several programs, so it depends on your income. Is very important to see if you qualify for those programs. There's different options, right? But we will walk you through the different options of down payment assistance if you so desire. We can do it.
Absolutely, that's good. What happens if somebody comes in and says, you know what, I do have money and I want to back this. with that. Do they still have to get a loan or not?
No, if you have cash, I mean, if you can buy a house cash, you absolutely don't need to get a loan, right? You still need to get a realtor to help you find the right house and negotiate the transaction and make sure that they walk you through the right steps, make sure you get title insurance, for example, they would make sure you got that. But if you have the cash, you definitely don't need to go with a loan officer, right? You can buy the house cash, but definitely get representation, like Silvia said. A lot of people don't know, what it entails. They think it's just, I'll just buy the house, cash, and then they run into other issues after they close and stuff. So make sure you get representation when you're buying a house.
Absolutely. Now, let's say somebody just came out of school, starting a new business, starting everything else. These are the first steps that need to comply. To go with there, of course, they're going to have to go with the loan officer. Now, how do the loan officers work? Do they work? Explain that procedure. Do they work with? They're going to look for money within the bank, or they're going to look for money elsewhere. How does that work?
Well, I work for a broker, right? We're a broker, so the advantage of being a broker is that we work with a bunch of different banks. We don't work with only one bank. There's some mortgage companies or banks that only have one set of rules, one rate. They have certain things that they can do, and that's it.
Absolutely.
Right? We're brokers, so we work with an array of banks, over 50 lenders that we work with. So we're going to try to find you the best interest rate, the lowest closing cost, at the best terms possible. That's always our goal to help our clients. That's our job to see what we can find you regarding the best terms.
Okay. What other things could you add on? What are other documents that a person needs to come back inside besides W-2s?
Well, I mean, once we take the loan app and we find out where you work and stuff like that, we sometimes require additional paperwork. Like I said, if you're self-employed and you own your own corporation, let's say, we'll need the business tax returns as well the last 2 years. Some people have been married and divorced. If you're divorced, we need a divorce decree. If you own other property already, let's say that you already own a condo where you lived years ago and you ended up renting it, like we need all the paper trail on that. If you're still paying on it, we need the mortgage statement, the insurance, the homeowners association information. So any property you own, we always have to find out if it's free and clear of any liens, or is there a loan on it, how much is the payment, insurance, and the taxes. We need to find out all that information. So it depends, right? Every case is different. Some borrowers we require definitely additional paperwork that will let them know once we have the loan app what else we would need.
Okay. ¿Qué más sería bueno para preguntar?
Es muy importante, si usted está en proceso o ya va a empezar en el proceso de comprar una casa, es muy importante que a partir de ese momento ya no le mueva a todo lo que es sus créditos. No adquiera un nuevo carro, no agarre más tarjetas de crédito, no les incremente el saldo a las tarjetas de crédito. Es muy importante que no mueva nada que pueda afectar su crédito. Y los principales puntos, pues Wayo se los explicaría cuando esté en la entrevista. Pero sí es importante que si ya empieza con su proceso, no le mueva a su crédito, no adquiera un carro nuevo, o es que estaban unos muebles que me gustaron mucho y me corrieron el crédito nada más para ver si los podía comprar. Todo eso afecta a su crédito y ellos trabajan con líneas muy sensibles, todos los lenders, y que fácilmente se puede venir abajo la transacción nada más porque fueron, por decir, a San Antonio, McAllen, y les corrieron el crédito 2-3 veces en diferentes mueblerías. Ya con eso hace que su crédito se vaya para abajo y pierda la oportunidad de poder comprar la casa.
Ms. Lucio came up with some good points. When you're in the middle of a transaction, you already have a lender and you're already going towards money and they're already checking your credit. Do not do anything in that time frame for it to impede your credit, okay? Because there's a lot of people that will go out there and want to buy furniture, buy a new car, what have you, they'll run the credit again on you. And every time they go through, the credit goes down in numbers. And that can affect the transaction of the lender, right?
Absolutely. Those are good points, definitely, that you all both are bringing up. once we pre-approve you and you're shopping for a house, we are taking you to go see a house. It's important not to acquire any new debt, right? So we want everything to basically stay the same. Make sure you keep paying all your bills that you do have currently on time, but don't purchase anything big on credit. Just because you're pre-approved, you still haven't closed. So what banks do is they monitor your credit all the way through closing. So if you end up buying furniture or applying for another credit card or buying another vehicle, that could make a difference and you no longer possibly qualify for that loan. And even though you were pre-approved, since you didn't stick to that advice and you got a new loan somewhere, that means that you may not qualify at that time and the whole deal can fall apart at that point. So that's a very good point that you bring up. It's very important. Another thing that's very important, if you don't mind me also adding, the money that you're going to use for the down payment. Don't save it at home in cash. It has to be in your bank account. It has to be what they call seasoned for at least 2 months. What should go into your bank account is money that you're getting from your payroll checks, from IRS refunds, or anything you can document, right? Let's say you had somebody wrecked into you and your car was a total loss and they send you a check for $10,000 for the replacement of your vehicle. That you can deposit. Anything you can track. You can pull money from your 401k, that's fine also. But don't save money at home and then expect to deposit it, a month before you want to buy the house and be able to use that money for the closing. That's not allowed on any of the programs that exist nationwide that I know of. You always have to have the source, the fund seasoned and sourced. So make sure you just deposit money from payroll and anything you can actually document.
Absolutely.
Very important. And that's one of the biggest things that we run into. What Silvia mentioned of people sometimes acquiring new debt and applying for new credit, or also the funds to close, not being able to track them because a lot of people just save money at home and you can't get money from your dad that he had in cash in the safe. Oh, mijito, I'm gonna help you with 10 grand, but I have it in cash in the safe. Come by and I'll give it to you. You can't use that for down payment. So anytime you're going to need money that's not from payroll or anything you can't document, you got to make sure to get with your loan officer and make sure that we plan and we find the best way to get those funds into the account or find an alternative way to close on the loan.
Okay. Those are some great points. And if any of you all have any questions, they can call you at what number?
My cell phone is the best place to reach me. It's area code 956-251-9258. You can call me, text me, whatever method you prefer. We'll make sure to get you the right answers and help you, guide you with buying your home.
Absolutely. It was very enlightening with the different points that both Silvia and you brought up, because there's a lot of things that a lot of people just take it for granted, that it's nothing's going to happen. All of a sudden, it impeded the process, and you don't want to get caught in that. So, folks, when you go out there and want to look for a house, look for a real estate agent, look for somebody that's licensed. Go to a licensed loan broker. Go to somebody that's going to be protecting you as the buyer, and that needs to be number one. And if there's any problems, call Ms. Lucio. Where can you reach her?
956-251-7092.
And Mr. Gonzalez. And believe me, sometimes it's scary to buy the first house. Sometimes it's you don't know what to do. This is the reason why we're doing this, and we'll end up continuing with the process for everybody to have an idea of what is needed to buy your first house. I want to thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the invitation.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we will see you all soon. And anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I do recommend whenever you are going to want to buy a house, try to start at least 2-3 months before you actually see yourself closing on the transaction. That'll give us time to make sure to give you all the information, do everything you need to do to plan and get everything in line to have a smooth closing, and make sure you have enough time to look for a house and everything. Probably 2 to 3 months, at least 2 months, but preferably 2 to 3.
Sí, siempre te tarda, no es tan fácil, cuando estamos mostrando casas no es tan fácil que la primer casa que van, o completamente les guste o les acepten la oferta. Más en un mercado como ahorita, que sale una casa al mercado y entran 7, 8, 10 ofertas. Entonces, siempre se va a llevar tiempo, se va desde semanas hasta 6, 7 meses. Entonces, con paciencia, y sí, si van a empezar el proceso, empiécenlo mucho antes. No esperen de que, no, pues mi lease del departamento se me acaba en abril y empiezan a mediados de marzo a buscar casa. Es muy difícil.
Yeah, exactly. You have to plan everything out, just like anything else, like getting a new job, starting a new business, starting anything else. A house is a big commitment, so you have to start planning it out ahead of time, understanding what you need to do. So start educating yourself before you go into it, and ask as many questions as you can. Because remember, you're the one that's going to be living in that house at the end of the ordeal. Okay. Anything else? Good. We'll leave you with this. You all stay safe, be safe, and God bless. Until next time. Much peace.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Have a nice